has a way of grabbing you by the ankles and pulling your feet from underneath you. Calling back to the shadow, it seems to silently follow you everywhere. There are reminders of Allison everywhere I turn. Seeing her favorite candy at the store, a bumper sticker of Kirby on the back of a minivan, a beautiful sunset or a starlit sky. Even looking at my own face in the mirror and seeing her staring back at me after realizing she had my eyes. Allie was intertwined with every little part of my life. This is both a blessing and a curse, I suppose. While something like seeing a picture of her alive and happy can trigger a wave of emotion, the touch of grief often comes unprovoked. Stimuli are not always required to trigger me. The feelings are always there, bubbling just below the surface. They often filter up, usually at inopportune moments. Those living with grief will understand. We have to silently carry around this painful, heavy thing, all the time, smiling and carrying on with our lives as if we aren't on the verge of crumbling beneath it at any moment. We walk the dog, we wash the car, we cook dinner, we go to work, and we do all of these things with smiles on our faces, or at the very least, holding back tears. Because of how our society is structured, this always happy, always positive, don't talk about the bad stuff mentality that we live in, the bereaved are forced to carry on wearing masks. To do anything else alienates people. I'm not suggesting that humanity is heartless. I think the problem is sort of the opposite, actually. It's because of the fact that humans are emotional creatures that we aren't more open to ease each other's emotional suffering. People don't like to see other people sad or hurting, especially those we're closest with. It's really that simple. People are, well, stupid, for lack of a better word. We feel it all, but we don't understand it. The emotional intelligence part of it, as they say. So what do we do about it? Well, that's the million-dollar question. I honestly don't know. I'm just a broken-hearted dad who lost his daughter, his very special little Bobby. I'm just some guy wandering around in the woods with a camera, talking about my feelings. Like I said in my first video, if you came here for the panacea for grief, you won't find it. I don't have the answer. I wouldn't even call myself an experienced griever. Allison hasn't even been gone for half a year. I do know one thing for certain, however. Grief is not something we can ignore. It's the monster in the closet. We want to pretend that it's not there in the hopes that it will leave us alone, but grief doesn't work that way. Grief demands to be seen, heard, and acknowledged. To not do so only makes grief grow stronger and, frankly, more dangerous. If there's any point I'm trying to make with this message, I suppose it's this. If you're grieving, don't be afraid to take off your mask and set it down. Let others see your wounds, even if they recoil at first. Don't ignore the monster in the closet. If you're supporting a bereaved person, be aware that they wear a mask most of the time. Be cognizant of the fact that they are carrying a burden unlike anything you can imagine, and that despite how they may seem, they are struggling. Please do your best to create a safe space for them. Don't retract. Don't let the memory of their loved one go unspoken. That memory is all they have left of them. It is among the most precious of things to them now. Do not allow it to go unseen and unheard because talking about it is less than comfortable. Love is not always meant to be a comfortable experience. Ask anyone who has loved and lost. Thanks for watching. As always, be patient, be kind, and love yourself. See you soon.